The Giants had 2 picks in the top 10. They gave us the first surprise because nobody knew where Kayvon Thibodeaux was going to go.
Right.
And some thought he was going to fall out of the top 10. The over-under was 4.5. The under lost by just a half. He goes 5th to the Giants. You're the first guy I thought of. You're the Giants fan, and you were down on Thibodeaux.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Giants making the pick?
Well, and listen, I'm rooting for him. I hope I'm wrong. That's what I'm rooting for. It's at that weird spot of where you go, man, I love this team. I don't love that pick, but I hope I'm wrong with my evaluation. I am. I had been told that they did their homework on Kayvon Thibodeaux leading up to the draft. I didn't think they would really pull the trigger on it. I didn't. Yeah, I got my concerns as a player. I do, definitely. There's some things there that I don't love. I love the person. I love the personality and all of that. I do, and I think he's made for New York, just like Sauce Gardner in a lot of ways there. But to me, yes, he was down the list a little bit as far as the edge guys are concerned. So we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, I get a little scared. I love, the Giants. I love the second pick with Evan Neal, but this one, to me, is debatable. And I know I'm not alone in this. Yeah, I know I'm maybe lower than most or whatever, but I still, like I've told you leading up to this, there was a lot of teams in football that did not have him as one of their 3, 4, 5 best pass rushers in the draft. So that's where, I'm skeptical. I didn't have that in my own evaluation. And then as much as I love Joe Shane and everything the Giants do, the one thing I'm just a little scared too is Buffalo never had any great pass rusher up there either. I hope they're good at, evaluating pass rushers. Those are the things that goes through my brain a little bit. Every team and every GM has their strengths and weaknesses. So that's one there that to me is boom or bust, just like Stingley at 3, and we'll see where it goes.
Big personality pass rusher, really their first one since Michael Strahan retired in 2007 or capped the 2007 season. And that personality is going to play well in New York. He's going to be generating some sound bites. But you know what? If the play's not there and the tough questions come as they will, how does he hold up then? So if this busts, it could be a disaster. It could be good for our business. There could be plenty of shows that we are opening with the latest Kayvon Thibodeaux rant at a press conference when he gets a stupid question or whatever. He's not going to be bashful about saying what he thinks. And I liked when he came out. You see, the commissioner was doing a good job of keeping up with the handshake.
He was.
The commissioner did a good job there. He was not completely lost. He did what he could to mimic the gestures from Kayvon, and that was all right. That was a moment. Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to be a fascinating player in the biggest market in the world. Let's hear from Joe Shane. Well, let's watch this first. Before we hear from Joe Shane, here comes Thibodeaux. And, Chris, you're big on the handshakes. I don't know what that is, but Roger Goodell, well done.
I love it.
He gets an A- for keeping up with Kayvon Thibodeaux. And then here's Joe Shane talking about the decision
amazing. What a great
to
reaction.
make Thibodeaux the 5th overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time with him. We met with him at the Combine. I flew out there for his pro day along with a couple other individuals. We had him in here for a visit, and he's a very outgoing individual. He's got a lot of personality. I'm sure you guys will enjoy your time with him, meeting him. But really a good kid. Likable kid, works hard. We had Brian and I had several conversations with some of his coaches over the last couple of days, and we FaceTimed him last weekend, so we really got to know the kid, maybe more than any player in this draft. So, like the personality and like the player.
Well, they clearly like the personality. Everybody likes the personality. The question was the player.
Yeah.
No, and there was no hesitation when the time came to pick the player. And they could have gone Evan Neal, who they picked at 7. They could have picked him at 5,
right?
And got Thibodeaux at 7. They rolled the dice more on Neal being there at 7. The Panthers could have taken Evan Neal instead of Ike Ekwonu.
That's where
they could have taken Ekwonu at 5. Maybe they liked Ekwonu better. We don't know what bet they made when they took Thibodeaux. Maybe they thought the Panthers are going to take Evan Neal and we'll have Ike Ekwonu. We don't know the answer to that question.
No, you're right. But maybe they just looked at it and went, wait, let's just get this guy because all the other linemen or tackles are on the board. So we're going to get one, right? I could see that being the logic. I had been told by somebody up in the week that Evan Neal was the number 1 tackle on their board, but I don't know that for sure. Either way, to me, I was like, as much as I'm a little, man, okay, they took Kayvon Thibodeaux. I hope I'm wrong as a Giants fan. This one, I was like, yes, this is the guy. I mean, to me, this is the guy I'd be most excited about. We've talked about him a lot. This day and age in the NFL, I'm going to edge on the guy that, maybe wasn't overall as good as Ike Ekwonu, but the pass protection to me was elite. I mean, you got a guy to me that's got a chance to be the best pass protecting left tackle in football here in the next few years.
And I'm glad he went 7th because there was this late effort to create noise about a medical issue. And I had people in the media sending me text messages about, it's real. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see how real it is. There's no way he's the 7th overall pick. There's no way he's going before Charles Cross if it's real. It's not real. It wasn't real. People like to make something out of nothing because they want guys to slide.
Yeah.
They see a player that they think they can create some smoke. Maybe somebody will think there's fire. And people say, well, but these teams all know. You're trying to make an owner wobbly. That's what you're trying to do. If you get an owner to say, I'm really not comfortable with this pick, then that pick's not going to happen. That's what the audience is when this kind of crap gets spread around just before the draft. And good for Evan Neal. He ends up going 7th overall, the second tackle after Ike Ekwonu to the Carolina Panthers. And the Giants have 2 first-rounders. The Jets have 3. Let's see if it translates to better performance because, look, that's the great disconnect. We can talk all we want, and we will, about the draft, but at some point, everybody's got to put on their uniform, their helmet, and go out and perform, and we know some will, some won't.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're right about that. The good thing is, and I think the one thing we can all just look at and go, these were real needs for the New York teams, and they got addressed right away in round 1, so you can be happy about that. Yeah, now we'll debate how good each guy is and should they have drafted him as high as they did or whatever there. But I think at the bottom line, I'm excited for both teams. I think they're going in the right direction. I really do. And so we'll see. But there were some big-time moves by the Jets last night. Like I said, I think they won round 1. I'd probably put the Lions up there in that conversation as well. And the Giants got 2 big-time players that I know I'm maybe more down on than the rest than Thibodeaux.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.